After 2 grueling days and 6 missions of combat, we finally make it to the last stand for HvZ Endwar 2018. Many of us are exhausted from playing all the missions. We're sunburned and we're sore, but our heads are held high and our flags are held even higher, because to make it to the final stand of Endwar 2018 meant something. It was a hell of a game and the intensity was at 100. Now every single one of us knew there was no coming out of this. We were all gonna die, but we were gonna make sure we die with glory. I was absolutely excited to carry the SCNC flag into combat this year, but the small problem of not being able to change mags made me realize I gotta ditch this flag and take this game serious.
Alright guys, as fun as it is obviously not going to be viable. We've got objectives to do. Let's do what we do best.
For a minute here, we hold a really impressive line, guys. Like, we thought we were holding these zombies back, but those were only the runners. The boomers and the tanks were moving forward, and they weren't going to let us hold this line for long. It is a never-ending wall of zombies. The boomer right there in the middle is just keeping them going, and they are starting to take us out one by one. Under all that pressure from the zombies and the boomer, the humans take a step back. But we can't back up much because the objective is in front of us, and we gotta get moving. With all eyes forward, most of us aren't even paying attention to the side. A tank manages to slip through the front line and is chewing into one of our flanks. Since you can't actually get rid of tanks, you can only slow them down, we know this position is lost and we've got to get out of here. It's time to move this entire group forward. The human team is finally moving forward towards the objective, but stretching themselves thin has allowed tanks to start moving into the sides and pinching groups off into small segments. I'm going to try to move forward here and try to get back to the very front of the line so I can find out where our next objective is. Even though most of the humans knew they were going to die in the last stand, there was still a chance of victory. If we can escort our mod Janine to all 5 Horcruxes, we can destroy the big bad guy, HvZ. So we're going to try to move along to these Horcruxes and see if we can capture them. But we aren't alone. HvZ is following the human team along, and if he can secure a Horcrux before Janine does, then he gains a powerful speed advantage. If he gains too many of them, he will be unstoppable. Along with the normal specials like boomers and tanks, the zombies also had a perk unlocked that gave them a team of moderators that played with them using blasters. If you're struck by one of these blasters, you're stunned just as if you got hit with a dodgeball. So here we are getting slowed down because we're taking fire. And just as the human team's about to round the corner, I see Dennis Valinsky out of the corner of my eye leveling an FDL at us, and I'm not going to take any chances. And just to give the blade one more good twist, the zombies are also supported by a special infected. And that special infected is Pearl, the princess we were supposed to save in Mission 1, but who has now been transformed into a melee noodle-wielding monster. The zombie respawn timer hits 0 and we get charged again. Now, we do manage to make a really strong front line, but we're stretched way thin, and so our sides are weak. Zombies are able to start running around and start pinning us from the side. But because I didn't want to see a repeat of that first charge, I hold one of these side areas to make sure we don't get wrapped around.
You're down, and you're up.
Unfortunately, we are quickly becoming at risk of being surrounded on all 4 sides if we pull any tighter in together. We need to get out of this field and secure a wall so we at least have one flank covered. That said, with a boomer going off right in front of us, the human team isn't going anywhere soon. The zombies orchestrate a hell of a coordinated charge here and start making our line pull back. Unfortunately, one corner of our flank doesn't realize the other side is moving and holds steady. This does leave them out in the open like a small peninsula of humanity, and they quickly get surrounded on all sides. Meanwhile, the rest of us are trying to back up. Just as we're almost clear out of the field, Dart Dragon takes a dodgeball. Once again, with our back to a wall, we look around and we see a hell of a lot more headbands than there were just 2 minutes ago.
No, it's the big guy.
The human team definitely starts picking up speed here, moving towards the bridge ahead. With the zombies behind us, we're trying to put a little bit of distance between us and them. I use this opportunity to start topping off my mags because I've been firing at a prodigious rate, and I definitely don't want to run dry during a last stand. Even though the bulk of the horde is behind us, we are still being harassed from the sides. I try to move to a somewhat safer position up near the wall and do that walking reload. The bridge ahead presents both a great defending position as well as a possible choke point. It really all depends on how we manage to hold this off. The front of our line stalls in this little corner, and we fail to capture the bridge in a really timely manner.
A lot of tanks.
This gives the zombies enough time to get a good respawn and to start putting a hell of a lot of pressure on us here. This could be very disastrous if we can't take this bridge before they hit us. The zombies change up tactics here and put their tanks in advance of the zombie horde. This is keeping enough pressure on us that we can't hold still and make a firing line to keep the horde off our backs. This pressure gets us stuck here on the corner with the team just trickling across the bridge. Now I see this becoming a really nasty choke point and don't want to get hung up there. So we're going to go see if we can find another route around. A whole wall of freshly respawned zombies joins into the fray and pushes in on the bridge team. It sounds like a complete bloodbath up there.
We're looking for magical items.
Not one to give up, I'm still hunting around down here, seeing if we can find any more of these Horcruxes.
What? I love it. I love it.
We managed to buy ourselves a few seconds of breathing room, but the human team that went up on top of the bridge is currently being chased through the middle of the building. We come around this corner only to see Drac pop out through an emergency exit.
Stop saying hold! We had an objective this way, apparently.
A runner who had scouted ahead identified one of the Horcruxes just up this hill.
Yeah, really back into the green!
For a second here, it looks like we might be able to take an objective and we lost the zombie horde. We definitely should have known better. After all, this is Endwar, and they knew exactly where we were going.
You ready to die, TK? Absolutely. It's a great day to die.
With a small group of us holding up in this little courtyard, the rest of the human team runs to catch up. With this being a good defensive position, we hold here and wait for the rest of the team to rejoin us. With the crazy charges from the horde we've been seeing for the last 10 minutes, the group in front of us hardly seems to be a threat. Little did we know they were just a distraction to keep us pinned here. And just like that, the rest of the horde arrives. Seeing the trap we just walked into, I take a moment to steel myself. It's time to die. Zombie tanks with a horde at their back close the door behind us and start pinching us into a smaller and smaller kill box. The sound of the tank counting makes me realize what's going on behind me, and I dip underneath him to what I think is a group of humans. But it's actually the zombie wall, and I manage to turn around just in time. A quick hop over the wall, shooting a zombie, and I think I might be able to get out of this trap.
That was hairy!
And while I do manage to escape the kill box, this group of humans and I back ourselves into a dead end and split ourselves off from the rest of the human team. At this point, the zombies are just biding their time and waiting to charge and roll over us. The humans at my side start to back up, and I'm about to take a dodgeball at a very, very bad time.
You got shot, dude. You can watch it on YouTube, I promise.
All those reload drills were definitely worth it as I managed to hold the zombies off long enough for the humans to move back up to me.
I can use a hand. No, tagging me.
Even though I managed to survive that crazy charge, we lost some valuable ground, and I know our backs are getting closer and closer to that wall. Even though I was shooting zombies as fast as I could pull the trigger, one of them inevitably had to get through, and he had me dead to rights.